Hey everyone, and welcome back to another No Man's Sky video. Today we will be touring one of my own bases, but we won't be following the usual concept of cinematic shots and flybys, as today I would like to explain to you what this build is actually for. We are here today at Euclid's Harp, and you might know it better as the protractor from during my livestream and tweets. This build is aimed to be a tool for purely research purposes, which are the measurement of angles. Looking at the build, you can probably guess where it got his name from. The quarter circle consists out of 96 sides. This was built by using the perfect circle technique. On each of the sides I placed a floor light, and on each of those a wire is connected. Each wire represents an angle. Due to the nature of the perfect circle, each angle is 0.9375 degrees. Now, until we can figure out a perfect circle of 360 sides, this one will have to do. I also marked the red floors with values, so it's easier to calculate the angles we're at. Now, if you would have an angle that is between the red floors, it is easy to calculate the correct angle with some adding or subtracting. Now, starting from the floor light, each wire converges at the base of the protractor, where we will do our measurements. Let's put theory to practice and see how it works, so follow me to the measure point. Let's first of all go in build camera, so it's easier for me to point out the elements here. Some of the parts are just for decoration, because why not? The left beam here, and also the bottom one with the supports, have no actual purpose except for aesthetics. I also added this part here to represent a slider, which has no purpose as well. This is the calibration point, which can be used to rebuild the 0 point in case I would delete it by mistake. Inside the floor we have a powered wire, and this connector here is the 0 point. So, if I connect a wire from here and pull it straight upwards, it will have 90 degrees. Pulling it from here down there, we have 0 degrees. And the wires here are the angles in between. So let's begin simple and place a short wedge on the cube here. Now we can connect our wire, and let us pull back the camera so we have a better view of what we're doing. We can snap our wire on one of the connectors here and then slide the wire along them until we find the correct angle. This seems to be the one. We can always adjust if it's needed. Now it seems like this is not exactly right, so let's pull a wire to the connector below it. Now, once we delete this one, we can see this looks way better. In theory, this wedge should be 45 degrees, as this in fact is a sliced cube. So let us check if that is correct. As the 0 point is powered up, it also powers up the wires we connected to, which in their turn powered up the light floor next to the angle. I already know this is 45 degrees. But if I would like to double check, I can simply hop in the teleporter in the back here and have a closer look at it. And as you can see, we were right on the spot. Now, this was quite a basic part to measure. We can try again with the long wedge and check that angle. As the long wedge doesn't snap correctly here, I will have to use the red cube and extend the base of it so the wedge is placed correctly. Once the wedge is placed, I can once again pull a wire from the 0 point and try to find the correct angle. I would say this looks quite alright. Now, if we have a closer look, you can see the wire merges slightly through the base here, and the same seems to be true at the center and the top of this wedge. So I would say we found the right angle. Once again, the wire has powered up the light floor, and we seem to have another red light. So let's have a quick look upstairs and figure out what angle we have. Alright, so according to the protractor, the wedge should be 26.25 degrees. Now, I know for a fact that this wedge should be 26.5. Now, sadly, because this protractor does not have any of these values, we need to take an approximate guess. Hopefully in the future, we can build a more precise protractor, or Hello Games can give us an endgame one. We of course can measure other parts. For example, we can use the bottom arm and snap some triangles on it. Now we can once again pull a wire from the 0 point and find our correct angle. Now this is a little bit too far, so I think it's gonna be this one. So let's just have a look if the wire lines up with the triangle. I think this looks like a perfect match. As we cannot read the value from here, we'll have to hop in the teleporter again and have a closer look. Now, because we can create a hexagon with 6 of those triangles, we should in fact already know the angle. Because 360 divided by 6 equals 60. So let us see if the protractor got it right. And indeed, we are at 60 degrees. These were a few examples of how the protractor could be used. Not only to measure parts, but also complex structures and then use them in future projects. So I went ahead and built also a few landing pads here, provided a place with a fancy teleporter, and also built a small meeting room where we could discuss our findings and ideas. I hope you guys enjoyed this little tour. And if you like this kind of video, then go ahead and check out my channel, as there is a lot more to this. Consider also subscribing to keep in the loop of upcoming content, and leave a comment to let me know what you thought of this video. Other than that, this was Beeblebum. Thank you for watching and goodbye for now.